This is Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love for October 2018. Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Musum.
Hello.
And Mina.
Hi.
Let's just dive right into it. Musum, what have you been playing this past month?
Barely anything. Check
out
the free show to find out what I've been doing. So a couple days ago when I realized this was coming up and I hadn't hardly played any RPGs, I popped in Battle Chasers NightWar.
Oh, yeah.
So I am a Kickstarter backer for this. Sorry, Natalia, go lie down. So like I got it on Switch, which didn't release with the initial thing, and I missed whenever their email was telling me that it released for Switch. I assume there was an email because it was like 3 or 4 months later after it released, and I just finally got online and logged in. And I'm like, oh, there's a Switch code now.
Oh.
I wish I hadn't missed that, but
right.
Anyway, so this is if you don't remember Boston's talk, so this is a turn-based RPG. I think my Kickstarter backer was like a $15 or $20 level, whatever just got me the game. It is based on a comic book series, and the artist is the guy who did Darksiders.
Joe Mad.
That's it.
I never know how to pronounce his last name, but I know how to say Joe Mad.
Yeah. So, like the main cast, you get like this giant steam robot thing.
Yeah.
You get a I forgot her name.
A punchy lady.
Yeah, I don't know. A short lady who's the daughter of a guy who died, and she took his magic gauntlets, and so now she kind of looks like she should be an elf, but she's not. But she has these giant gauntlets and is evidently the tank for the party. Which
yes, it's really great. And the big robot dude is a healer. It's really good.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's it's been an interesting ride. Like I like the art style. I'm barely anywhere in it. I'm most of the way through the first dungeon. I don't know that there's a ton to say about it. I think it looks great on the Switch. I think it plays fine. The guy with the sword, whose name I don't remember.
Guts from Berserk.
Yeah, I was about to say, he looks just like Guts.
Yeah.
And he goes down like he evidently has a glass jaw, because he just goes down like nothing. If enemies hit him. But he has this great ability where he can the thing I'm really liking about the game is the overcharge system, where instead of using magic points, if you've hit a guy, then you've generated some overcharge, and you can use that instead of magic. And sometimes abilities will even do bonus damage based on using overcharge. So like the Not Guts character.
Techie Man in chat says, that'd be Garrison, and oddly enough, I have that open in another tab. Serendipity.
Nice. Great minds.
Yeah.
But like he has an ability where he will, for starting action, he will attack a guy, cause bleed damage, and then gain like 20 overcharge.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Next turn, you can use his other ability, which does bonus damage if you use overcharge, and just do a ton of damage to whatever he's hitting. So it's an interesting like push and pull thing. And I just remembered like right before the podcast, I have these dungeon abilities, and the robots heals everyone. Yeah. Why am I not using that?
It took me forever to use those, because they're just not something that's standard. It feels very much like a classic JRPG, like 3 people on one side, a handful of enemies on the other side, punch, punch, punch. But those, I feel like we don't often see those abilities in JRPGs.
Yeah. And it's like all the sound effects for them are real good. Like whenever they land their hits, they got a good bassy thump for them too.
Yeah.
But like I was surprised how much the overhead view was kind of used in everything. I mean, it's a very JRPG view for it, but like, it was interesting too when I hit the dungeon. And it's like, do you want to play this dungeon on normal, hard, or whatever that other rating was?
Yeah, like mythic or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's such a cool little game, and I really wish more people hadn't missed out on it. I feel like it came out sort of at the wrong time and was maybe a little bit budget priced, and I think people just went, whatever.
Well, and right now, like the last time I was in a game store, like I noticed they had it for Xbox for $10, and they had it for PS4. Like it's $10 everywhere. Like it's dirt cheap. So I feel bad about that, but at the same time, like it would be an easy investment to go grab. Story-wise, I haven't really. Like you're kind of in an airship that you fall out of at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure what I'm doing story-wise beyond that.
Yeah, that was my experience maybe the whole time. Like I sort of started getting a little bit of an impression halfway through, but I feel like, and this isn't really to the game's detriment, I feel like the story stuff is really lending itself a lot to fans of the comics. Because I guess the comics are famous, I'm not a comic guy, and ended abruptly years and years ago, and I guess this is sort of the continuation of that. But man, there's a lot of stuff in that game that happens where I'm sort of like, okay, cool, we're fighting some guys that look like jackals, alright.
Yeah. The dungeon puzzles have surprised me too, like in it. Like there was this. Okay, so I'm going to spoil a few of the puzzles from the first dungeon. So one of them, you walk up to a well that's kind of glowing, and it says you can try and grab whatever in the well, or you can examine. You click examine it, and he notes that there's a rhythmic pulsing that can easily be predicted for the well. So I wait for all the light to go out, and then I click grab the thing, and they grab the thing.
Yeah.
They had another one where you have to mix a potion based off of this guy's notes, and that one I completely messed up.
That one's pretty hard because I feel like it wants you to pay a little bit more attention than maybe I was when I was exploring the dungeon. Yeah.
I got like purple goo out of it, but I guess what you're supposed to do is whatever ingredients it doesn't mention are the ones you're supposed to go to. But it has an interesting amount of detail to the puzzles that I appreciate. And like the other thing I like is when I quit the game, I hit save and quit, go back to title screen and continued again. It just started me outside the dungeon. But when I went back in, everything I'd already done and killed was already done and killed. I didn't have to do it over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's nice.
I appreciated that because starting me outside of the dungeon, I immediately was like, crap, I don't want to do all this again.
I was at the end, no.
But it's a neat little game that has some real interesting dungeon puzzle mechanics and has a cool traditional JRPG battle system, and I don't know, I like it.
Yeah, and it's only, I think for me, one of the big selling points of it was it's only about 20 hours. I mean, it doesn't really overstay its welcome at any point if you want to just kind of go straight through it and knock it out. It's not going to be an 80 to 100 hour experience.
Man, that sounds wonderful. I need some 2-hour games is what I need.
Yeah.
So speaking of games that have an immense amount of playtime, probably where I've spent the most time the last month is Destiny 2.
Yes.
That is, I really, really, really like Destiny 2 a whole lot. I wasn't expecting to when I went to it. I think we talked about this last month a bit, but like, it's come to a point where I'm literally looking at like the things I have to do in real life and like trying to figure out how to juggle it and still play Destiny 2.
You're
and
like side-eyeing Destiny 2, like I could just play an hour of that.
Like I think it was a week ago. I think it was last weekend. Like I noticed that I had one of those items to auto level some guy up to 30, right? and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind a Titan, and I did that, and then played like one match with him. And I'm like, I'm gonna burn myself out on this game if I try and maintain a second character.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much to do as is. So,
and I feel like Musum and I have been playing Destiny 2 a lot this past month, and I feel like a big part of why I've been enjoying it is because the Forsaken launch has finally brought people back to the game and brought new people to the game, and somehow is managing to keep them, finally, unlike the entirety of the year one of Destiny 2. And I think one of the biggest reasons is probably the overwhelming amount of stuff to do in the game, that even as we're playing each week, we'll do one activity, and a lot of times it'll be like, okay, we just got that done. Now we have like 10 more things to do. What should we do now? Like, just sort of, there's a huge grab bag of stuff to do. And I think that's so much better than Destiny 2 has been in the past year.
It certainly helps me. And I know I said something similar to this last time, but like, the bounties don't feel like things I absolutely have to do every day in and out. Because one, it would just be impossible holding a daytime job and doing that.
Right.
Like, I mean, you don't go, I'm sure even like there's no way that you go planet to planet and do every single bounty for every single character every day.
No,
I mean,
I don't know what else I would do. Maybe if I was like a full-time Destiny streamer, maybe I would, but no, I don't touch planetary bounties.
I mean, you'd have
much
to
at all.
Just leave your daughter in a cage with a water bottle and
Yeah, exactly.
Fend for yourself, kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I didn't realize why I liked the bounty system returning so much compared to Destiny 1 until you mentioned it is that as soon as you pick up a bounty, for the majority of them, there are ones that last for a week. Majority of them, as soon as you pick them up, the 24-hour timer starts. So to me, if I don't get to one or two of them, that's kind of fine, because tomorrow at reset, there's going to be a whole nother set, like 5 from this person, and 3 from this person, and 4 from this, like, there's going to be, 13 more bounties to pick up. So if I miss one or two, or if I don't even play today, or I don't play Gambit, or I don't play PvP, that's okay. There'll be more tomorrow.
And it's great, because they just use the currency that you're almost always maxed out on.
Yes.
So, like, I don't know. I really like the game. I really like playing my hunter class and the special abilities with it. We've played a ton of Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit is really good. I actually don't know if we've talked about Gambit on this show, have we?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Gambit is their new game mode. They call it something that I don't like. They call it PvPvE. I call it cooperative competitive. So 2 teams of 4 people are both fighting waves of enemies at the same time. And you're picking up these little glowing bits on the ground. They call them motes. And pick a bunch of them up, bank them in this giant bank in the center, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Basically, you're racing to get 75 motes, call out a boss, and beat the boss before the other team. Where the competitive comes in is at certain increments of motes that you punch into your bank, you can go invade the other team's map, and then take them out PvP style, which will then do a bunch of stuff. I don't want to get too inside baseball with Gambit because I could talk about it for hours. But I think the thing I really enjoyed it, and Musum and I have played a bunch where it's just the 2 of us. But man, is it really good when we get a 4-person team together and you're able to communicate effectively and do strategies and all that stuff. And there have been nights where we just sit down and we're like, all right, we're just going to keep playing. And then, whoops, suddenly it's midnight. Okay.
Yeah. It's, I think I heard someone compare it. Well, no, okay, I don't want to do that. But it very much is that game type that when you get a match of pretty evenly matched teams, like you could be in it for a half hour, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it also helps that like a lot of the loot drops from Gambit are good, and you will wind up immediately equipping them, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's, you know, I also appreciate that every time I play Destiny 2, my light level goes up a little, you know.
Yes.
It very, like, as long as I spend an hour or so in the game, it's going to wind up happening.
And thankfully, they managed to avoid the thing that they've done, honestly, for the last couple of years of Destiny 1 and 2, where you start an expansion and, you know, especially with a large piece of DLC like this, it's similar to any MMO where you fire it up and enemies start dropping blues and they're way more powerful than the stuff. You're scooping up all these blues. And, you know, you play pretty hardcore for 2 or so weeks as all this stuff is brand new. And in a lot of these games, and Destiny's guilty of it too, next thing you know, you're at the light level and you're maxed out and you're wearing all these blues. The great part about Forsaken is that stops really early on. The new max light is 600, and after like 520, you hit that cap where it's like, all right, you need to start doing things that reward powerful gear or powerful rewards. It tells you that in the UI, and then you can sort of, if you're not doing the raid, you can sort of start slowly crawling your way towards the light level, which is really great that none of us are anywhere near the light level yet, and we've been playing pretty seriously for the last month and change. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot more to add about it. I guess. Well, I guess you could talk about the Dreaming City a little bit. I haven't got to spend as much time there as you guys have, but it's a real cool place because it. Like, Destiny was already kind of space magic anyway, but this place is full on, like, space elf mysticism place, right? You know,
it very much looks like the elf city in the Lord of the Rings movies, where, like, everything has gold filigree and it's rounded and, you know, beautiful marble sculptures. I think the thing that I mentioned on TVGP that was so incredible to me about the Dreaming City is, number one, they don't just give it to you when you complete the campaign. Like, you have to go do something to go unlock it. But until someone beat the raid, it's the first place we've really gone into in Destiny in its now 5-year history that has been intact. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not, you know, this collapsed building. This is the home of the Awoken, and it was untouched. As untouched as they said. I thought that was a really nice change of pace. Yeah,
and it's cool because did you play an Awoken?
No. My main character is an Exo.
Okay, they have like Awoken specific dialogue, like occasionally in it.
Cool.
Like, it's not much, but like the woman who's the bounty holder there, like when you first. Like, she'll call you cousin occasionally.
Oh, cool.
When you first go to the Dreaming City, the ghost pulls one of those racist cards of, "Hey, you're Awoken, are you? You know anything about like this? You know all other Awoken people, don't you?"
No, ghost. It's been sealed. Come on, man. Well, I think the crazier thing about Dreaming City was. There's a bit of there was like a 10-day lag time between when Forsaken launched and when the first raid, The Last Wish, launched. And in that time period, nothing was super exciting about the Dreaming City. It was just a cool new place and it was very difficult. Until the very first team beat the raid, and then all of a sudden, because of what they did in the raid, the Dreaming City is now in a 3-week endless loop, where it continues to get more and more infected by the Taken, those shadowy, jittery enemies. So it's been kind of neat to see week over week major parts of the environment change, and some are inaccessible and some open up. And it's nice to see them make big changes to an environment like that they haven't really done before.
Yeah, so it definitely is. It brings the word experience to mind, where they really want you to go through a thing. But Anyway, like if anyone's playing, come join the E1M1 clan and help us level that sucker up.
Yes, they made changes to clan leveling that are rough for small clans like us, so we could use more peeps.
Or if you're an existing member, come back. And
Forsaken's really good.
Does the clan thing go across platforms?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the cool part. Like, we actually found that out in vanilla Destiny 2, because Moonpear and his wife would go play, the Nightfall, and then everybody on now all 3 platforms would then get a reward from the clan person. I was like, that's pretty cool, because then anybody on any platform can contribute to the clan. Yeah. It's a smart choice.
So, well, that is really all I've been playing. So, Mina, what have you been up to?
I have played a lot of games.
Okay.
And I am not exaggerating at all. I know I say that a lot of weeks, but I've played a lot of games despite everything going on. So, first of all, from the very top, I think what I'm going to talk about are the games that I streamed, and then I'll go into the things that are Let's Plays, and in case you haven't seen an episode of those Let's Plays, and plus I'm going to talk about some that I haven't even finished editing the episodes of, so...
Ooh, sneak peeks.
Yeah, so first of all, let's start with Ni no Kuni 2. It's done. I beat it.
Hey, congrats.
Yay! It's not 100% yet. I think I have 2 more citizens to recruit. I don't know where they are, but I will find them at this point.
Have you recruited that guy with the who doesn't know his name?
Oh yes. What was his name? Single, but his full name is ridiculous.
Yes. 5 names long or something.
It's ridiculous.
Quest.
Yes, so I did recruit him. I don't know. I know that there's 2 people that I can recruit that I haven't done yet, but I'm still missing 2 more. So I don't know where those 2 people are.
Yeah.
And I might even have to break out a guide or something at this point, because the world is so vast. So
yeah, I feel like I missed one person. There's like that forest that was sealed, and there was like 2 or 3 people near the forest sage, and there was one guy that I could suddenly recruit. And it's like, oh, well,
yeah.
Without a guide, I would have never known to even come back here.
But yeah, so about Ni no Kuni 2, I really liked it, and I think I'm going to maintain the only thing that I have like a bone to pick with this game are, 1, the lack of voice acting. Like, the voice acting's good. There's just not enough of it.
Yep.
And including the final cutscenes, like the very end of the game, I would have thought like the last, 10-15 minutes of the game when it has like a lot of dialogue, that all would be voiced. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Not even like the final boss talking to the characters is it all voiced all the way through. So
really weird.
Even then, I still had to bring out my bad guy voice going, "You don't understand." And I was just
heroes.
I'm like, why am I still voicing this stuff? Because I would have thought this, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if they were really cheap on their voice actors, and they were just like, we can only get maybe like an hour dialogue out of this, out of the people here, and the game is 60, 70 hours long.
Right.
So, yeah. And the other thing that I still hate is that there'll be these little tiny text boxes that just pop up at the very tiny bottom of the screen with the font size of maybe 10.
The Micro Machines guy is reading it off.
Right, and it just blurs past and then disappears. And sometimes if I'm looking at, I don't know, any other part of the screen, and then it pops up at the bottom, I'll miss what the characters say.
Yeah.
And it's just come on.
Yeah, thankfully they were only in those skirmishes, but it's still... Thankfully it wasn't any important main story thing, but...
No, it's not a main story thing, but sometimes when we were on our way to go to the final boss, and I'm not going to spoil how it goes, but the little text boxes were still popping up down there as I'm running towards the final boss, and they're just vanishing on me, and I'm like, what are these characters talking about?
Yeah, I forgot there was a late game skirmish thing that's pretty important.
I just want to read them, you know?
I want all the text.
I like the game a lot. Stop taking things away from me. But yeah, I think all in all, I didn't hate anything extremely about this game that stood out. The combat, it's like better than Kuni 1. I think it's more polished. I wouldn't say that it's like perfect. I think that it could be a little bit better, but
it's approaching Tales. Like it's getting it's like on the right path.
like if it wanted to be Tales all of a sudden, I'd be really down for that. Yeah. But it's I don't know. There are times like I was just trying to do like dodges and stuff, and I just wasn't doing it right. The one thing that I didn't do throughout the entire game, and apparently I should have been able to do it from the start, but I skipped the tutorial, is I should have been able to block, and I did not block even once that entire game.
I don't know if I did either. Now that you're mentioning it, I don't even know if I remembered you could block in that game.
You should be able to, and I still don't know whatever button it is to block.
Yeah.
So someone said that like maybe if I blocked more, I would have been able to do a little bit of harder stuff. Oh, so like I was playing the game on expert level, the hardest difficulty that they added. But I did drop it down from expert to hard whenever I encountered like a boss that was just particularly too strong. Like if a boss was killing me in 1 or 2 hits, I was like, I'm just going to drop this from expert to hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like doing this.
That makes sense. And no sense in just beating your head against it.
Right. I would have had to grind to get past that, or make better gear or an equipment. And I was just like, I'm enjoying this game, but I don't want to do that to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I only do that in SMT and Persona games, okay?
You have to draw the line somewhere.
We have to slow down somewhere. So, all in all, Ni no Kuni 2, pretty great. I think it's definitely like one of the better RPGs that I've played as of late. Like top quality. And just I'm not the type of person who really gets into like, looking at all the frames and how pretty a game is, because I kind of don't care. 30 FPS is fine with me, but Ni no Kuni 2 looks absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. You put it on PC, right?
Yeah, PC. Yeah. And it just looks amazing. But yeah, that's Ni no Kuni 2, and I beat it, so the next thing I'm going to stream in replacement of that is Yakuza 0, so look forward to that. And I'm going in blind.
Very excited. I actually don't have any tips for you on that one. It does a really great job of tutorializing you, and if you make any of the quote-unquote wrong decisions on any of the side story stuff, you miss out on items from that you might get from that side story, but none of them are really good, so I wouldn't even worry about any of it.
That's fine. I'll enjoy it anyways. But that's going to be the replacement game. The game that I started as soon as it launched was Dragon Quest XI.
I haven't made my way to this yet.
So I'm not going to spoil anything about the game. I will say how far I got. So. And I don't think this is that much of a spoiler because it doesn't make sense until you get to the part. But at some point, you have to collect the MacGuffins, a bunch of MacGuffins,
okay.
And
that's great.
I'm collecting the last MacGuffin. So I don't know how far that is in the game, but that's where I am. And I guess you can kind of collect the MacGuffins in out of order, maybe a little bit, kind of. And because I think someone told me that the MacGuffin that I'm trying to get is one that they had already gotten. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's really good. It's a really good Dragon Quest game. I think in terms of story, I like it only slightly less than Dragon Quest V, but it'll be a long time. I think Dragon Quest V may forever hold a position in some sort of top 10 best RPG of all time for me.
It's so good.
It is. But Dragon Quest XI, I would say if you're going to if you're out there and you're like, I want to play Dragon Quest XI, when you get the game, be prepared to sit down and play it for like 5-6 hours straight. You need to commit that 5-6 hours. Like you'll understand later, but you need to commit that full or take an early 1-2 hour break. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you need to shoot for that 6 hour mark.
Right.
And I don't know how to put it in better words than that, but I think everyone who's played the game would agree with that. And it's just really good. So if you've been waiting for a really good Dragon Quest game to just pick up, this is it. Hop in now or go buy Dragon Quest V and go play that.
Yeah.
I really don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, it's so new and it's
so new, and I don't like. If you're curious how it looks or whatever, you can look back at my streams. It's so gorgeous looking to me too. It's just the last really good Dragon Quest that we had for consoles was for at least over in the stateside and in Europe is is 8.
Yeah.
The one
back
with
on the PS2.
Yeah, PS2. It's been a long time.
They got a remake on
the 3DS.
Yeah, 3DS, yeah.
Because
but
playing that.
We got 9 and we didn't get 10. Well, we only got the DS version of 9 over here too, right?
Yeah, 10 was
10
kind
was
of
an
like
MMO. Yeah, we were never going to get it over here.
Yeah, not enough of a fan base over here to warrant that.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. We've been waiting for that game as long as people have been waiting for the next Kingdom Hearts installment.
Right.
So yeah, no, this game looks great. It plays great. I have no complaints with the game so far. I had an amazing story moment in 11, and I totally wonder, like, if you pick it up, Boston.
Mm-hmm. I have it. I have so many other things to play, and the average non-100% completion time for people is 100 hours. So that's a little intimidating.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I've been going on. Well, you know what? I stream, like, trying to go from destination point to destination point, and then off stream I go and do my little collect-a-thon and check every
and all that.
Look in every nook and cranny, look for all the. Go back and recollect all the chests that were locked or whatever, because now I have the key that unlocks the things. That's not a spoiler. That's in every Dragon Quest game. You always got
that was in Ni no Kuni too. Like that's in all these games now.
You got to retread everywhere you've been.
Yeah.
But it's really good. And yeah, it's a very, very long game.
Yeah.
So I've been trekking on 2 very long games. And now we're going to kind of breeze through a couple of the games that I've been doing Let's Plays of, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about, but so we have Trails in the Sky. I think it's it has a subtitle called First Contact or First Something or something.
Yeah, it's like Second Chapter is the second one, and I don't remember what the first one is.
Maybe it might be First Chapter. Who knows?
I feel like they renamed them at some point, and I don't remember. The first one.
Right, the first one. So I've been playing that one, and something that I'm really into this game, and I can totally tell why people get into this game, is that just the evolving dialogue with every NPC in the game. It's like you talk to a character, and then you go do like something else. Like maybe you only do like about 5-10 minutes of like the main story, and if you go back and talk to every NPC, suddenly they're all in different places, they're all talking about different things, or they've evolved forward to like a different stage of their conversation. Man. So like, for example, if you talk to these 2 characters at the beginning of the game, they're standing in this alleyway, and this guy is trying to like, ask this girl out on a date or whatever. And this girl is all like, if you talk to him, he's like, she doesn't seem like she wants to say no, but she's not really saying yes. He's like, what am I doing wrong? Like, he's confused. And then you talk to the girl, and she's all like, I like this guy, but this isn't the place where I would want someone to ask me out. I was thinking of someplace far more romantic. You know, what if this is where we get married and this is like how I have to remember the first time we meet? And she's like, so I can't say yes to him here.
Right.
And so, like, you go do some main story stuff, like a little bit of it, and if you look around, they're gone. They're no longer in that alley anymore. And he's like taking her up to like this lookout point or whatever. And he's like, perseverance has led me to this. Like, she finally said yes. I've been just trying to talk to her all day, and we finally made it up here to this the spot, and she said yes. He's like, so perseverance won out. And then you talk to her, and she's like, this is the kind of place, this is the kind of romantic setting I was looking for. And
That's
she's
great.
like, so it's kind of like all the characters have that, though. Every minor no-name character has like evolving dialogue.
Man.
Like, I went to the mayor's house at some point, and I talked to some of the people there, and there's like a maid who's just talking about how her mistress, or the lady of the house or whatever, is always trying to help her do stuff, and she's so thankful for it. And then you talk to the lady of the house, and you find out that like she just married the mayor, but she was like a simple person that did all the chores herself, so she just doesn't know how to handle like somebody like trying to go and do stuff for her. She's like, I cook and I clean and I know how to do these things, so I just don't know how to deal with the servant. And I kind of like that a lot, because this isn't something that I typically see in RPGs. Like the care for an NPC to constantly like move on with their day and move on with their lives and go do other things that have nothing to do with what my characters are doing at all. They're just living, and it feels way more it feels like the game has a lot to say for like its tiny little bit of lore of this world. And I really like that. So I don't know too much on how I feel about like the combat and everything. Like, it's not crazy at this point, but it's not
Maybe
it's
not
not
yet.
like so I think I need to give it more time. I think I'll learn to love this game a lot, and I see why a lot of people love the game already. I had an encounter. So someone told me that I magically won this encounter that I should have lost. By all accounts, I miracled this encounter. I accidentally activated some fight, and it spawned like, I don't know, like 9, 12 enemies or something like that, and they all nearly killed me in like one hit. Like every hit that they do on my character, it was almost like their entire life. And so I'm just sitting there fighting for turn orders or whatever, and just trying to kill off what I could. And I barely miracle run that. And then I go fight the main story boss, or whatever we're gonna call it. I don't know. I went to fight that thing, and that thing was easy. I was like, I had expected this game to roll me after that, but
Right.
yeah. I'm also not playing this on the hardest difficulty. I had heard from a lot of people that that the hardest difficulty for a new person would be just the worst idea ever. Like, I would have the worst time with the
It'd
game,
just
and
be
I would
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like, just kind of walking into a Persona game and going like, what, can I max out the difficulty? I've never played one of these before. Let's see how that goes.
Right. What are weaknesses?
What do I not understanding the full mechanics of the battle system and then setting it on the hardest difficulty seems like a bad idea. So the game's pretty good. And that's all I have to say on that. The next game I played was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've already played up to this point in the game, so there's not much that I could say. I just recorded the episodes and I'm editing them to upload. But I did also, because I wasn't able to use my computer for a while, I did boot up my 3DS to play Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one.
Right.
The one that I never played all the way through. I got to the part where you recruit the medic sniper.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Is she a medic sniper?
I think so. That sounds right.
That's what I'm calling her. So I got up to the part where you recruit her. I don't know if it's permanently or temporarily at this point, but you go to like save her brother, Juju. I believe so.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I played this game, I got riggedy wrecked on that boss. This time, I did not get riggedy wrecked on that boss, and I whooped it. And it had like some following cutscenes and stuff, and like the special what are they called? The special mechon, the faced mechon.
Oh, okay.
Like this one came swooping down from wherever, and it started talking, and I recognized that voice because I burned through this game really quickly. That's the voice of that character. That mechon or whatever, it's the voice of the Dunban's traitorous friend, isn't it? It sounds exactly like him. It sounds like the guy from the very beginning, because like you have Dunban and the old guy who found what's his face, and then you got the guy who is all like, see ya, Dunban, and he's just like, I'm going to take that weapon for myself. I'm doing a terrible accent.
I feel like it's been about a decade since I played that game. So.
I don't remember crap about that game. I remember I quit it right before when my friend Dave was like, oh no, you got to get to this part. That's when the big story twist happens. Like you got to get like right past this island or something somewhere near the top, and I was like right before that. I was about to go to the island and then stop playing.
Oh no! I'm playing this on my 3DS, and it does not look good on the 3DS. But I'm still playing. Whatever. It's like handheld. I can bring it with me. I can walk around and do stuff. So it's great. So that's why I play it on the 3DS, not because it looks good.
Right.
But no, it's that guy's the face mechon has the same voice as Dunban's friend. I swear it's the same voice actor.
Probably. So, I bet there aren't a ton of voice actors for that game.
Yeah, and it also has like the same snarky attitude.
Right.
And it's like, boy, and he talks to you just like in the same kind of tone, and I'm just like, okay. Either somehow, like, well, I was thinking to myself, like, maybe, like, I don't know. It sounded strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's how far I got in that Xenoblade Chronicles, which is not related to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, at least that I know of yet.
Allegedly, they have some sort of tie-in between them, but it's like a deep lore thing. So
it must be real deep, because I do not know how they would connect at this point. And then the next game I played was Steins Gate. Boy, oh boy, it's like I don't know where to begin, because like I think I hit the point where like I was just like, oh snap, that happened.
Stuff's getting real.
Right, so like you get to the like, I met Ferris.
Yeah, I call her Ferris, but I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it.
Yeah, I call her Ferris too because I think of Final Fantasy V. But anyways,
Ferris Nyan.
Yeah, Yan. That I met her. She's crazy. I like her. She's crazy in a good way. I also think that. I think that she totally knows how to deal with, oh gosh, what is his name? Rentaro's. She knows how to handle him better than anybody else.
She just like shuts him down when he's being crazy.
Right. He can't handle her, but she can totally handle him. Yep. Amazing. So I got to the part of the game where we took the bananas and we snapped one of the bananas off, or rather Daru did, because Rentaro was like, let's throw all the bananas in there again. And I was yelling at him as he was doing that. Like, come on,
no,
man.
You fool.
You don't need the entire thing of bananas. Just put only one in. Be nice.
Right, listen to Daru.
And Daru just, like, snaps one of the bananas off and throws it in. And then the moment happened. And,
the point where the game changes.
Right, because I was, like, I thought I understood what was going on. And then, like, I was like, what is going on? And
That's
who
my
would have
favorite
thought?
point in that game, where it's like, great, they're gonna throw the banana back in the. Wait, what happened?
So that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that it was going to have. I thought when we opened up the microwave, the whole banana was going to be in there. Like I
Yep.
figured, like I thought I understood, but now I totally don't understand. How
Now
did
everything
that
is different.
happen? So I am mystified. I am very interested. I need to play more of that
Yep.
game, and I haven't.
That's the point where Steins Gate, like, I was enjoying it throughout everything up to that point, and like they were gonna do another like Gel Nana experiment. I'm sort of like, all right, game, you're kind of losing me a little bit here. Like, I feel like you're moving too slowly. And like 2 minutes later, that scene happens, and I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah,
This game's incredible.
I need to know what's going on because I could understand it one way, but the other way, I have no understanding on how that happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that moment happened, and that's as far as I got with that game. And then the next game I played was Kingdom Hearts, and we talked about The Little Mermaid last month, right?
we did on your train of misery here.
So, moving past that, I had no problems with pretty much any boss or encounter that I had after that, up to where I quit last. I didn't have any problems except for one, and I don't think it was even a boss. I think it was like a mini boss. And this is kind of the thing that I've noticed so far about Kingdom Hearts, is that I'm not having problems on boss fights.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. The boss fights aren't that bad.
They're straightforward,
in reality.
usually.
They're pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
But these mini boss fights, like
Yep.
the pot centipede, I have
Oh,
no
God.
idea how
Screw
that was
thing.
supposed to go.
Holy hell.
Like on the hard, because I'm playing this on the hardest. I'm playing this on proud.
Yep.
I have no idea how you're supposed to properly beat that thing. I beat
Yeah.
that thing by like some miracle magic.
Tossing thunder at it and praying.
Right.
Yeah.
And and if you guys don't want to get spoiled on this next thing that I got stuck on, then just skip like a full minute from now. The next thing I got stuck on is Sora's shadow form in the Hook's boat thing.
Oh, yeah.
It can two-shot you.
Yep. That
It
boss,
does-
that mini boss is not. That Kingdom Hearts, man.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, a lot of the other bosses, I've been able to beat by just, like, my resilience and my just, like, if I just bash my head on this hard enough, I don't have to learn to get better at this game.
Right.
I can just win by bashing my head, and then, like, eventually the wall gives.
Right.
You know? This was not one of those fights. I knew
Right.
as soon as, like, I think I even said on, like, my death number 3, like, I said, this isn't going to be a fight that I can just win by just doing whatever.
Right.
I'm like, this is a fight where it's like, no, you have to actually get good at this game right here.
Ugh.
Or the entire game's run ends right here. I don't even know how many deaths I racked up on that.
Oh no.
I haven't edited that episode. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I just unlocked an ability. Oh, I just unlocked guard. At this point in the game,
Oh, okay.
because I picked to magic as my strength, and I gave up the sword as my power.
Right.
And when you pick magic as your strength, you don't learn guard until like level 36 or 38. I don't remember what level
Pretty
it
late,
was.
yeah.
It's awfully late to learn how to guard all of a sudden.
Right.
Because at this point, I feel like I must be near the end of the game at this point. Like, I've got to
Yeah.
be. I'm on like, I have to be on like one of the end of the worlds, but it's so far down that learning how to replay like the game is a challenge for me.
Mm.
I really hope they don't do this in like the Kingdom Hearts 2 or onwards, because
Well, you're not going to play any more of them on Proud, right?
listen, I was told that I would disappoint everyone if I lowered the difficulty from here on out.
I think
I have to play everything on critical or whatever it's called. Like,
oh god, please don't play it on critical.
I was told that I had to play it on critical mode.
No, critical only leaves you with 20 health permanently.
I believe someone told me I have to do that, or
I think these people like watching you suffer.
It might be. Oh man, you should have heard me. Oh my gosh, I think I popped off so hard after I beat that mini boss. I swear, I think I might have knocked the mic away, and I think I screamed something like, "I'm the queen of this world." I'm like, look upon me.
Right.
Look at what I have done.
Thrust a sword in the ground.
I'm like, Kingdom Hearts. No. This is not Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
This is my kingdom.
In my house. Well, I hope these people that are torturing you are patrons, because if not, that's a real jerk move.
Oh god! Like I was really stressed. I could feel the veins popping out of my head as I was doing this fight.
I feel like when you get to Kingdom Hearts, I feel like one of the biggest problems with the first Kingdom Hearts game is it's so uneven with quality and difficulty and how you unlock stuff, and it's just you can tell it's very much like, we're gonna put this together and see how it goes. My memory of Kingdom Hearts 2, which to be fair I have not played in a long time, was I don't agree with people who hate the intro. I really like it, especially if you play Chain of Memories. I remember feeling like Kingdom Hearts 2 was a much more even experience, especially difficulty-wise.
Oh, that's good.
So I feel like if you're going to play on Proud again, and probably pick Sword first, then you're probably going to, and knowing everything you know from the first game and like how to play it, I feel like you'll probably have a much better experience in 2.
Right. Well, I would say that I've definitely learned to get better at Kingdom Hearts. That one particular fight, I had to. Honestly, I can't wait to go back and edit the footage just to see
see what your death counter is.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I knew, like, as I was doing it, like, the sound of my voice was just, like, teetering upon, like, this, like, broken sounding of, like, I can't. What if I can't ever get past this? Am I going to have to replay this game on a lower difficulty? Right. And I was just like, I sounded like such a broken person. So I know once I get to the part where I actually do win, the sound of elation from my voice was
your victory cry.
it was incredible. But right. Yeah, that was Kingdom Hearts. And did I play one last game? Oh, Ys 8. Ys 8. Right. Trying to remember how far I got.
Did you get to chapter 4 where the story starts? Okay.
No, not yet. I got to the part where we got our. Well, I have the third party member in my team, like the salty sailor, whatever his name is. Oh no, what's his name? He's the salty sailor type of guy.
Just say
the older guy with the big hammer
anchor
thing, whatever it is.
He's got the anchor thing.
I actually like that character a lot.
He's fun. I like him.
I don't remember his name either.
It's on the tip of my tongue too, and it's gonna drive me insane. But Sahid?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
They don't have really crazy names in that game. Like one character, and I probably should go back and beat the game. Like I'm really not that far from it. I may have had enough of a break, but like one character you encounter, and maybe we'll just talk about it whenever you get to him. His name has been the name of villains in many, many games. So like, but he's been like this perfectly nice, helpful person. So I don't.
Oh, geez.
I'm wondering if he was just named poorly.
Here's
your
new party member, Astaroth.
Like,
he's a healer.
No,
right,
it may as well be. Like
I like it. I like the game quite a bit, and it's become like kind of like a collect a villager-a-thon kind of thing, and I love base building games, and I like I like that building up town sort of things. Like you tell me that I can rebuild a town, and you've already got my interest in. Like, I'm invested.
I'll be curious how you feel about it when Chapter 4 hits. We'll just leave it at that. Like, because that's when it started to make me go, oh, this isn't. I wanted the other thing you were doing, Gabe, not this. So I'm curious about how you react to it.
I'm curious too, because I like I said, I'm already in. It's got me. So like those are all of the games I've been playing.
all I've played this month is Diablo 2 or Destiny 2, because I have a problem, and Musum is kind enough to feed that problem. So let's move on to RPG releases for October 2018, starting with Disgaea 1 Complete, coming out for the Switch and PS4 on the 9th. I've seen they've made a couple of improvements to this game. It doesn't seem like it's anything super foundational, so I guess if you've never played Disgaea 1, it probably holds up pretty well still. And it's not as crazy deep as some of the other ones got. So, still probably a pretty good time. A game that is almost guaranteed to be a good time, The World Ends With You Final Remix, comes out on the Switch on the 12th. Man, that game is really good. I played that on DS when it came out. Is that what it originally came out on?
I believe
two
so.
screens,
it had two
right?
screens, right?
Yeah, so it had
like
to be
the
the
top
DS.
and the bottom.
And it wasn't
I never
3D
played it.
yet, was it?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, so it was definitely the DS. And there's something with this game, I believe, where you can't play it handheld. It's one of the very few games where you can't, because of how it has you use the Joy-Cons. So I still don't entirely understand that, but if you don't play stuff docked, you might want to check that out before you purchase.
No like.
Yeah, I remember reading why they did it and going, oh, okay, as someone who played it, that makes sense. And then I immediately forgot what that was. So I meant to look it up before we recorded the show, and I forgot that too. So my brain is bad. It's also coming to the Switch, Dark Souls Remastered on the 19th. Heard some people saying that this runs pretty well, but maybe doesn't look super great. So
I still really want to get it because of a portable Dark Souls, but
yeah,
I haven't played most of the games I've bought over the last half year, so I'm kind of at the point where I'm probably just going to stop buying games unless it's an SMT or Persona game.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. And last but not least, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection comes out on the Switch on the 2nd of November. If you haven't played Diablo 3 at this point, if you're the two people that haven't, go pick it up. This contains everything, including the Necromancer DLC, which is really good. I'm playing a Necromancer in this latest season, and it's a pretty great class. And Diablo 3 is really good. And it's portable, which I really need to not buy this, because then I'll just play that forever.
See, I kind of want to get that one too, because my wife and I played it for a while co-op, which was a fantastic experience, and that was on PS3, I think.
Yeah.
So and we never beat it. We got to, I don't even know where we got. So.
But now all she needs to do is buy a Switch, and then you two can play co-op. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We only have one news story this month because it's not super heavy RPG stuff, but we do have sort of one story that's two sub-stories here. So, the development teams, including the leads from the Danganronpa team and the Zero Escape team, have fused together, Dragon Ball Z style, and made one company that's just going to make... They announced 6 visual novels as soon as they formed, joined forces, and said, hey, we're just going to make two of the best visual novel creators. We're going to combine our forces and make even better visual novels. And one of the games they announced was a new murder game. So
I'm already 100% in.
Yeah, the funny thing is, after Danganronpa V3, the Danganronpa guy was like, hey man, I'm done with murder games. I've been making so many of those. I'm pretty good. And then the Zero Escape guy was like, hey, we should make a murder game. He's like, we really should. And they said, all right, we're going to make one more. So I think the thing that makes me sad and happy at the same time is that Danganronpa and Zero Escape series are done. I think Danganronpa went out with a bang. Zero Escape, less so. Not bad, but certainly not up to the standards of something like Virtue's Last Reward. But the two of them together? That's dangerous. I don't know what we're going to do. So, their first game is going to come out sometime in 2020 called Death March Club. That's their new murder game, if the title wasn't obvious enough. So,
yep. I'm already in. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm already, like, whatever they want, if they can keep providing me the visual novels of the... Because I think a lot of people have told me before that they don't understand why I love visual novels so much. They're like, just read a book. And I'm like, you do not get the same experience.
Yeah, there's so much more to it. That's why it's not a book.
Like, I could understand, like, if you play one of those really bad visual novels where it might as well be a book, then I can understand that statement. But until you've played something like 999, until you've played something like Danganronpa, like, that shows you what a true visual novel can aspire to be. A Steins Gate,
Yep.
It's totally... It takes the experience to a level that your mind actually cannot reach.
Yep.
And I love it. And just the thought of somebody making a company to make more of the thing that I love so much of that I can't get enough of.
Out of, like, our favorite two visual novel developers, like, it's too much.
I'm
the
so
vapors
excited.
over here.
Right? I'm so excited.
Well, on that high note, that's our episode for this month. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at pickingupthepixels.com. Everywhere you can find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget to join us Patreon, patreon.com/E1M1. Get some cool behind-the-scenes stuff for all the shows on the E1M1 network. Musim, where can we find you?
You can find the hub for all my musical endeavors at jbaudio.net. And you can also find my music under my musical alias Musim at, which I guess is what you guys call me on in here anyway, at Amazon, iTunes, and pretty much anywhere digital media is sold or streamed.
And how about you, Mina?
You can find me on Twitch or YouTube under Mina KO Rocket.
And you can find all of my shows at e1m1.com. Thank you so much for listening, and our adventure continues next month.
Bye.
Bye-bye.